One sad thing that I see amongst brethren, amongst brothers, is a level of weakness, the inability to walk in the deliverance that the Most High has given you. Shalom, fallen Yeshua, welcome again to the Rock. I see and found that more and more men act like Lot's wife, a doe. And in that, what happens is when the Most High takes you out of something, you spend your time looking back at the thing that He delivered you from, instead of spending the time looking forward at the things to come. And what that does is that causes people to become wayward. If that path turns to the left or turns to the right, you don't notice it because you're too busy looking back. You're too busy looking back at what y'all delivered you from to ever pay attention to what's in front of you. And what's in front of you, if you look in this world today, what's in front of you is a lot of bad things spiritually. What's in front of you is a lot of nasty shit coming. So you can't get ready for it. You can't prepare for it. You don't even have the vision to prepare yourself for it because you're too busy looking back like Lot's wife. I don't know why it is that in this faith, men have a propensity to always look back. It remind me of women, when women, I'm leaving you. And you say, all right, then see you later. And when she leaves, she spends time still watching your channel or scouring your Facebook or trying to see what pictures you uploaded or see if you moved on. Meanwhile, here you are just living your life, doing your thing. And what that means is that, for a lot of people when it comes to like deliverance, the reason why you have no spiritual power in delivering is because you haven't even been able to physically deliver yourself. First that which is natural, then that which is spiritual. You don't walk in any physical power at the Most High. You're not walking in the direction and the vision that the Most High gave you, but you want spiritual deliverance. You want Him to give you power. You're not even exercising the power you have right now. You see, when you walk in the ways of the Most High, first of all, the curses that were on you will fall off of you. Deuteronomy 28. And you'll receive the blessings. But second, you receive power in obedience. And obedience is a physical thing. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all that work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh the Elohim. In it thou shalt do any work. Thou, thy son, thy daughter, thy manservant, thy maidservant, the cattle, the strangers within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in it, and rested the Sabbath day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and holiday. That rest in the Sabbath day is a physical thing and a spiritual thing. But you can't spiritually take the Sabbath off without physically doing it. I heard people say that. I'm going to work on the Sabbath, but I'm spiritually resting. And it's like, oh shit. First that which is natural, then that which is spiritual. But the reason why a lot of men are powerless in today's environment, they're powerless amongst their own people. They're powerless in their own group. They're powerless in their friendships. They really carry no weight in anything that they do, is because they're not doers. They're not doing anything. They're talking, they're spiritualizing, but they're not physically doing anything. See, when somebody watches you do something physically, it's gonna show in your spiritual walk with the Most High Yah. When you look at Yah's blessings, they are physical blessings when you read Deuteronomy 28. In that, you walk in Him spiritually as well. But you see, today, a large majority of men are just simply powerless. They don't walk in anything. They're too busy looking back. It's a sad thing that with what you see coming on in today's world, so few men are actually taking any real steps to prepare themselves for the things that are coming. And the reason that is because they're not taking any real physical steps. They're looking back. They're too busy looking back at where they've been delivered from. They're too busy looking back at what, it's like when Yeshua told people, when he was healing people, the people didn't look back and say, I wonder what it was like when I was still blind. I wonder what it was like when I was still maimed. I wonder what it was like when I couldn't walk. I wonder what it was like, hey, I was told to pick up my bed and walk. But let me pontificate about what it was like when I was sitting there laying down and I couldn't get up. And I couldn't jump into the pool with a Bethsaida. I couldn't get up and get into the pool. Let me just sit back and fantasize about what it was like. Let me look back. No, they were focused on forward movement. And because so many men today cannot focus on forward movement, they're always looking back at what they came from and what they were used to being. And I mean, even then, it's like I see men today who are delivered from things and they still go back to those same things they were delivered from spiritually. Let's say you were part of a wicked ass congregation, a wicked ass assembly, a wicked ass ministry, a wicked ass church, a wicked ass camp. I see men that are still going back and watching teachings from these groups. I'm like, so y'all delivered you from this mess, and you are still going back and watching the shit. You're still going back and participating in the same thing. You know it's wicked. You said it was wicked. You acknowledge that y'all delivered you from wickedness. It's the same thing that you see in traditional Westernized Christianity, where the Most High, y'all allows the word of truth to hit somebody. They walk away from traditional Westernized Christianity, and then after they have a bad experience here or there, they go back to traditional Westernized Christianity and follow back in it. I'm like, so what was the point of you being delivered from it? This is why you can't experience deliverance in your life, because you're always, what does the Bible say? When an unclean spirit comes out of a man, it walks amongst dry places and seeketh to find rest, and it finds none. It doesn't find any rest. So even though, so then it says that the spirit then returns back to its original owner. That's how I interpret it. It returns back to its home and finds it swept and clean, and enters in and brings 7 more demons worse than itself. If you get delivered from something and are still looking back at it, do not be surprised if 7 more demons return or come with it, worse than the original one. Why? Because you don't acknowledge y'all's deliverance. You're not looking forward to where the Most High sent you. You're not looking forward and accomplishing the task that he has you. I'm reading through the book of Acts. I've read through the Gospels again. I'm reading through the Torah again. And as I was reading through the book of Acts, I read through the Apostles, and Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the Gospels. I realized when it came to Yeshua and his disciples, not only did they have utter discipline, but they were always focused on where they were going. They shook the dust off their feet and moved on when somebody didn't receive them. They said, and this live stream this next Friday night's going to be on. Essentially, they were like, listen, we told you the blood is on your head now. If I tell you and you don't want to do it, your blood is on your head now. It don't mean no more. And that's from the book of Ezekiel. But we're going to talk about that this next Shabbat, or Friday night. Shabbat, Friday night, Central Standard, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. About what does it mean when a person's blood is on their head, and why that's so important. Why it's so important for you to show people something, and then when they reject you, walk away. It's also in the book of Acts. But I find this stuff so amazing that throughout all the deliverance, we can't focus on where the forward progress, because we're always looking back. There are a lot of Lot's wives out there in the male form who give the perception that they're different, but the reality of it is Lot's wife, that ideology, that action, that spirit is on a countless number of people where they can never go forward. They can never actually have deliverance because they can't deliver themselves. Even when Yah takes them out of Sodom and Gomorrah, they're still looking back at Sodom and Gomorrah. They're still looking back at the thing that Yah took them from. Yah heard your prayer. You were praying. Yah said, okay, I got you. Delivered you from it. And on your way out of that place, you're still looking back. Well, maybe there's a good word I might hear from them. Maybe there's and that's a sad state of where we are. This is why a lot of men, a lot of sisters are actually afraid of being led by men. In some cases, this is not an excuse for sisters. But I've talked to some that, too many men go backwards. Too many men are looking back. Too many men can't go forward. Yah, shows them something and they'll go halfway and go part of the way and then stop. And of course, the woman's like, yeah, I'm interested in talking to you. And she's talking to the dude. And she watches the dude go in a direction, then stop, and then turn around and head back the other direction. And she's concerned about I've met sisters that have gone through this. And the Most High delivered them from, these dudes who would have entrapped them. Man, we got to be forward moving, forward progress. Like in the NFL, we have to learn to fall forward. When we take a hit, we have to learn to fall forward. We don't fall back. We take the hit and we fall forward. And if we did that and we focus on moving forward and stop looking backwards, you'd be amazed at the things that you could accomplish. You'd be amazed at the deliverance that you are able to actually walk in. But you can't walk in it when your focus is always on what you left. Especially the times coming up that we have, you don't want to be focused on what's behind you. You want to focus on what's in front of you. You gotta be focused on the vision which is in front of you. And the direction which is in front of you. On the path that is in front of you. Bless y'all. Just answering more questions. Hope these are edifying to you. Shalom.